Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Digital to Dice podcast. I am Dave, and Ron is actually on assignment this week, so we do not have Ron with us this week. Pinch hitting for Ron is Al, RedSox Fan. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Uncle Dave. How you doing? Ron's out on assignment. I can't wait to find out the goodies he's going to bring us, Uncle Dave Gardner.
When he's on assignment, he's on assignment.
True.
So anyway, this is episode 164 of Digital to Dice. Ways to get a hold of us. digitaltodice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the text line. digitaltodice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digital2dice. So anyway, well, we usually start with the weather. So how's your weather been? Did you guys get hit with all that cold and snow?
We got hit with the cold, the rain. We lucked out, though, Uncle Dave. We did not get the ice that was expected. The wind, I know this is going to sound strange, it was so windy, it pretty much dried it out.
Yeah.
We didn't have the black ice. I know up towards your area, I know like in the Gardner area, they got hit pretty good.
Yeah, out west and north got really hit. Yeah, we lucked out and just got a lot of wind, and it wasn't even wicked cold, but it was cold, but not that bad. But you look on the news, like places like Buffalo, holy cow! Yeah. You know, they couldn't even get ambulances out to people. That's how bad it was.
That's crazy.
And you it's like, jeepers, I know that was a once in a lifetime storm, but like, man, it would take once in a lifetime for that storm to hit for me to be packing up and moving south. It just
I wouldn't want to live in Buffalo. No knock against Buffalo, but not for me.
That's like 2 in the last few weeks that they've had, you know?
Yeah.
So
they had to move the football game a little while back to Detroit.
Yeah.
One of the Buffalo Bills home games.
On that first blizzard. But then I guess it was gone in a couple of days, you know?
Well, it's 50. It's going to be 53 tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had warm weather here, too.
In Mass.
Yep. So it should clear all that up. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about not so much an end-of-the-year review, but I thought we would talk about what did we learn in 2022 as far as our gaming and sports sims goes. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What did we learn in 2022 about ourselves? So Al and I will talk about that, and as always, we welcome your comments. Before we get into that, we like to get into what we're playing. So here we go. Well, since you're pinch hitting, I'll let you go first. What have you been playing now?
I've been playing a lot of play games.
I saw that.
Play tennis. It's actually called Let's Play Tennis. Mm-hmm. History Maker Baseball, and a little bit of Soccer Blast. Intriguing Engines. Fun. And to me, just because I've never played those games, there's little things I have to get a better hold of, but I really do enjoy them. I found that they're very fun, and the tennis game was the quickest for me to learn. History Maker Baseball, has a lot of nooks and crannies, and like with an English muffin, you want to know every nook and cranny,
right?
So you can enjoy the game fully. And the same with soccer. I've also been playing Action PC Baseball. Steve Tate did a wonderful Uncle Ron's been using the baseball file, the 5-year file, and it's free. If I may talk about it for a second, it's free on the Action PC community site, and Steve Tate has a wonderful channel. I highly recommend it. So check him out. He rates all the players himself, as he's not using the historical file. And he takes a 5-year span, but it's a really fun. Wow. Because it's fun. I've been playing that, and Pro Strategy Football. 2023, we had our 1988 What If Doug Flutie played the whole year. We got the Patriots almost to the Super Bowl.
Nice.
We lost in the AFC Championship game to the Buffalo Bills. Bills played the Vikings in the Super Bowl. Someone's had to go, and it was the Vikings, The Bills.
Really?
Yeah. We showed that in the channel, so that's a spoiler. But that was fun. And I'm playing more Pro Strategy Football 2023, doing the 1970 season, pretty much off. The way I did the Patriot Project with Flutie, I played most of it offline. And then when I got to an important, big game, I throw a couple of them on the channel. And I like that because then I can play quicker. You know, I don't have to sit there and go, I have to do this. And I'm doing that with the 70s season. And the Patriots, it's my Fran the Man Tarkenton, New York Giant, and Boston Patriot replay. And the Patriots are awful in 1970. Fran's very good for the Giants. So we're having fun with that. We might be putting up a game soon with that. So
I just, my YouTube's been full of the old 76 and 77 NFL wrap-up shows, you know. In Green Bay, it was a classic contest between the Packers and the Bears.
Don't you miss those?
I do. Well, the thing was, is back then there was no internet, there was no ESPN, at least not in this form that we know it as. So it was like once a week, and I don't even remember what day this show would come out. But you got a half-hour show recapping last Sunday, and it might have even been Saturday or even Sunday morning. I don't remember when I watched this.
When we got that show, there was This Week in the NFL, and then there was Game of the Week.
Yeah.
And so This Week in the NFL, like and I still watch those on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I got the shivers just thinking about it when you're talking about it. I just loved it so much. That would give you the 2-minute blurbs for each game, and then the best game, the next half hour would be Game of the Week, and they put that music and the highlights.
Oh yeah,
it's like, to me, it's one of the most fabulous.
I watched the 70. I think it was 77 49ers at Vikings, and Tarkenton was the quarterback. Yeah. So it starts off, and they were peeling the tarp off the field, you know, and so they showed that. It's like Minnesota more resembled a frozen lake in Antarctica than it did a football field on Sunday. And you would think that the Western 49er team would have trouble in the snow, but they got off to a quick start.
The music?
Yeah, number 34 took the, you know, it was beautifully done. And the 49ers took this huge lead. It was 24-7, and they scored to make it 31-7, but they called it back on a hold. And the Vikings came back, and they took out, no, I don't think Tarkenton was a quarterback. It was some other guy. And they put in rookie
Bob Lee.
Yeah, Bob Lee was a quarterback. Rookie.
Because Tarkenton broke his leg in 77.
Oh, that's what it was? Okay. So rookie quarterback Tommy Kramer and he threw like 3 touchdown passes, and the Vikings came back from 24-7 to win 28-27.
My guess, if we look that up, because Tarkenton had a pretty good 77 going, I believe. He breaks his leg. I want to say late in the year.
Well, this was snow flying in Minnesota, so
it was later in the year, and that's why he comes back and he plays in 78 because he goes, I don't want to go out that way.
I think it was week 12 actually, week 11 or week 12.
He breaks his leg. They were projected to go back to the Super Bowl with Tarkenton.
Yeah.
And he broke. So I forgot who hit him, and his leg.
I love watching those things. As soon as it comes out on YouTube, it's gotta watch it. You know. So
there's a really. Is it the Conrad Dobler channel?
Yeah, Comrade Dobler, yeah.
That's a great. He puts up those. I'm the same with you. I get the blurb. I'm watching that.
Yeah, put it on my watch later list. So anyway, I've been getting all those. So I had to get on the rabbit hole, and I pulled out my Final Score football from Downey, and I think I told the story last year. I bought the complete package for like $40. It was all the seasons, and you got crazy stuff in there too.
That's a great price for $40.
Yeah, you get everything. You know, I think it went up to 2014, and it went all the way back to the 30s or whenever football started, and it had I think it had all the USFLs and everything in there too.
That's awesome.
So it was the complete guide. And so I pulled out 76, and I rated the first week, and I rolled the dice, and I played week 1 of 1976. And the only upset was Seattle Seahawks actually beat the St. Louis Cardinals in their first game. So that was the only upset I had. Cool. But it was fun rolling the dice and having the things come out. So that's something I'll do on this side. So I've been playing a little bit of Final Score as we transition to what I've been playing. Been playing a little bit of up-tempo basketball. I still like that game. I still like up-tempo basketball. It's a very quick play game. They still got some seasons on sale. Maybe I'll go back and grab one more. And I'm using the online helper that I got too, which is beautiful. It just lays everything out for you and just kind of follow along and click around.
Is that similar to like the shootout hockey?
Yes.
Helper?
Yeah. You roll the dice, or if you use the helper, a number comes up. I think it's 0 to 99 or whatever it is, 1 to 99, and it tells you what happened on that sequence. So it'd be like turnover. So if you turn it over, 20 seconds come off the clock. Next team has possession, and then it's like automatic bucket. So that team gets an automatic bucket. If you want to play the advanced game, you can figure out who got the bucket and keep track of points, or you can just go by the team,
Right.
And so then it comes down, then let's say like a 2-point shot. So you look at the guy taking the shot, you look at the guy defending him, and then that gives you his range, So let's just say he's a 1 to 58, and your defender has -3. Well, now he's 1 to 55 to make the shot,
That's status pro-ish.
Yeah, and
that's what Status Pro used to
very
be.
fun, very easy to play. So I played some of that. I've been playing a ton of baseball, as you might know.
Yes,
I've been alternating between Season Ticket, which, oh my gosh, I just love that game. I don't know why, but that game is just so awesome.
I enjoyed the video you did on why you play.
Yeah, I did a why I play
great video.
Season Ticket, because I just had to talk about that game, and I like when people. I mean, gameplay is great, but sometimes it's nice to hear about why somebody plays something, and maybe something will trigger. So I got some good feedback on that. So Season Ticket baseball, Pocket Pennant Run, which I absolutely love as well, and then a little bit of Payoff Pitch as well. I went back to Payoff Pitch, and that'll feed into our subject of the day as well. I did pick up. Ron got me Replay Baseball, not PC, Replay Baseball for Christmas. He got me the parts PDF for Christmas, and I bought a season PDF. They don't have many PDF season, but I bought 78 maybe, and so I started to try to play that Cards and Dice with the replay, just the replay game itself. I started using the Replay PC to help me play it. You know what I mean? So I would roll the dice, I would guess at what it is, and then I'd input on the computer to see if I was right. Problem is, I think the computer game is very different than the Cards and Dice. And why I say that is I looked on one of the cards, and it was off the pitcher card, and it was supposed to go to second base, and the computer game sent it to first base. And I'm looking right on the card, and it says 2B. That's where the ball was hit. So, and then there was a few other times, too, that I did something, and I guessed what I thought was right, and I was very wrong in the PC game. So I said, okay, I really need to not do it this way, because it's obvious the PC game is not 100% synced up with the Cards and Dice. So they must do something a little bit different. Maybe they it's a random roll to see where the ball went, or maybe they're using a die roll that I'm not aware of. But when I read the directions, I thought I got everything correct, and the PC game's telling me something different. So it frustrated me enough that I put it away. So I'm going to have to go back without the PC and just play it myself and see if I can get it to work. Because it didn't look to be that difficult of a game in certain aspects of it. Like the basic play seemed fairly straightforward. So I couldn't figure out why, if the pitcher card said it was hit to second base, why the PC game was going to first base. So again, I think maybe there's just a little couple of differences between the two. So that was screwing me up. So I need to back off that and get that. But I did enjoy what I played for Replay Baseball on the tabletop. I did enjoy that.
What do you remember the teams you played? Out of curiosity,
probably Boston and Baltimore, I think. Yeah. I think. And also, there was a guy that I didn't have on Baltimore, so I don't know if he was on another team. Maybe that's what it was, because I think I played like an opening day game,
Right.
That's the sweet thing about Season Ticket, is you got everybody. And sometimes guys are on two teams, and you get them on two teams.
They put them on the two teams.
And I think Payoff Pitch does that, too, so you don't have to go hunting for anybody.
Yeah, Payoff Pitch. I know when I picked it up this year, I had a PDF version of it, but I wanted the
cards are so
printed
nice,
copy, and I don't normally get the new season, but because I'm a DeGrom fan, who's no longer with the Mets, unfortunately. I said I want that one because I'm gonna have some fun with that once I really get that learn the game better. So
yeah, so I've been playing a lot of baseball, really enjoying it, and that Digital Diamond Helper has really unlaunched my Cards and Dice baseball to a different level. It handles everything, and there's stuff that it handles that I don't want to have to handle. I just want to play the game, and now I can play.
Stat keeper.
Now I can play the game. It keeps my stats. I got something to look at when the game's done, and then I can see where I am in the standings. And I just played a matchup. I'm in 79, and I pulled out. I don't know why I pulled out the Mariners and the Twins. Don't know why. I pulled out the Mariners and the Twins, and they were in second and third place. And I had no idea. They're trailing California, and they're both under 500, but they're in second and third place in the West. I'm like, well, that was a good game to play, a nice pivotal game in July, that I was playing. So, yeah, it was just kind of fun, just grabbing different games, different teams, playing different teams, and so much fun. So, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Although it was last night or the night before, either you or ID were on playing, and I was down here in Studio B and had you guys on the YouTube, and I was dying to play football. But I just still getting over being sick. I just didn't have the mental capacity to pull out, Solitaire Pro Football or a Second Season, which are two really fun games that I enjoy playing. But they take a little bit to set up, and then they're a long game, and I just don't have the mental capacity right now. Just getting over sickness, so I decided just to pull out the PC games. I played every PC football game I had. I played them all for like 5 minutes because that's all I had attention. I pulled out, so I played like 5 minutes a second and 10. I was like, all right, well, that's not scratching the itch. Pulled out Action PC. No, that's not scratching the itch. Played some Strat. No, still not doing it. I think I pulled out Football Mogul. No, that's fun. Still just not doing it tonight. And then I finally pulled out Inside Blitz from Inside Sports Games to play a little bit of that. And it's like, so I played like 5 or 10 minutes of each, and I just like, nothing scratched the itch. I don't know why. I tried them all.
And tried them all on that night. Nothing.
Nothing just
happens.
It just, none of it was bad. I had some fun with it all, but
I understand completely. Believe me.
Yeah. So
I understand that.
Yeah. It was just fun. So then after about the 5th to 6th one, I was like, I guess it's not a football night, and so I'm just gonna go up. And
did you pull out some Spiders baseball after?
I did play some Spiders baseball, and the Spiders got win number 18. And we're in middle of September.
So there are Christmas miracles.
They're trying to get to 20 wins. They're trying to get to 20 wins, and they have 18 right now.
They could do it.
And again, I don't play all the games, and I don't play Spiders. I play against the Spiders, and I just kind of jump ahead a few weeks. So I probably played, maybe 15 to 20 Spiders games out of the ones, and then I just sim the rest. But I've had a couple wins on the channel.
But you're having fun with it.
Oh, it's goofy fun.
That's the most important thing. Have fun with it.
I come into those Spider games, and there's no expectations. People come in to watch knowing that it's going to be usually a Spider blowout. We're just kicking them around, but it's just the idea. We're having some fun, and we don't have to take it that serious. So, but I'll be wrapping that one up in the next few weeks because I'm toward the end of the season. So that was a fun one. That was a real fun one. So, anyway, should we get to the topic at hand?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so what did we learn in 2022 is what we're going to be talking about today. And I'll kick things off because it was kind of my idea, my train of thought. So one of the things I learned in 2022 is if I'm going to try something new, I really want to make sure that I have the time to do that, to give the game a fair shake. In the past, I've been guilty of jumping into a lot of games all at the same time, giving everybody 5 or 10 minutes, and if it doesn't click, I put it away, move on to the next one. That doesn't click, put it away. So, and then some of these games I've gone back to, and it's like, why did I not enjoy that? So I did learn in 2022 that if I don't have the proper time to give the game a fair shake, then I don't take it out and try to learn it. And I have 3 or 4 games sitting here in my satchel ready to go, but I haven't pulled them out yet. Some I bought this year, some I even bought last year, but I'm like, I don't want to pull this out, especially when I'm sick, and try to learn something and have a bad experience because I'm trying to rush or I'm not in a good mood or I'm not ready for it. So that's one of the things that I had this year.
I'm in agreement there with you because some games, like if I pick up a Strat season, card and dice, I've played Strat my whole life. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had our hiatus. All of us have had hiatuses in doing our hobbies. But Strat comes back to me like that,
Right.
I found an agreement very much with you, Uncle Dave. You have to give a game a just opportunity because I'm guilty of it too. I've sat down, started to play a game like I don't get it. and I don't, you know what? I can play this other game, or I can go to the PC and play quickly, and I want to play a game right now.
I think undivided attention might be a good phrase. Is you don't want to.
Your undivided.
You can't do it if there's something bothering you, or if you're at work, or someone's got your ear and talking to you, or, or the wife's like, take out the trash and mow the lawn, and you're trying to learn a game. You really need to kind of sit and say, okay, no distractions. I'm pulling out this game. I'm going to read it, try to figure it out, and try to muck my way through it, and not be looking at the clock like, oh man, I got to hurry up, because then you start stressing out, and then you're like, I'll forget it. So I learned myself this year that when I'm going to learn a new game, that I really want to say, okay, I have the time to do this, so I'm going to take this out and do it. And that way, if it takes me all day, it takes me all day. But I'm not going to sit there and get frustrated because I only have an hour, let's say.
You have to have the allotted time. I agree. I mean, we're going to talk about it a little later, but like I said earlier in the show when we first started what we're playing, the History Maker, the play games, a little different than what I've played. And again, the tennis took me a little bit, but that was quicker. Baseball has a lot of nooks and crannies. Soccer has nooks and crannies. And you have to take your time with that, because those are games I've seen many people play, and I see how much enjoyment they get out of it. And it's a storytelling game. And the ratings are based, don't be fooled, the ratings are based on stats. Because they give you a little guide free, and then you can buy a different guide if you want to get more in depth with the ratings, but it's based on stats. So, but yes, you have to have to enjoy a game thoroughly. You have to learn it the way you want to play. I'm not saying you have to adapt all the rules, but you have to learn the basics of it pretty well, and then you can pick and choose. And I think you mentioned that in your video of why you like to play the baseball
season ticket. Season ticket.
3 pages, I think you said, for the basic knowledge of how to play, and then you can pick and choose what advance do you want to use, if at all.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that game. I mean, that game there. Not to go off on a tangent, but it's got a basic stealing. Way to basically steal. Just basically, here's the number, beat the number. Or the advanced steal is you check the pitcher's hold rating and you roll the dice. During that, you have the chance to be picked off, or the ball can be thrown away, while you're establishing a lead.
All makes common sense.
And then you determine if you get the lead or not, and then if you decide to steal, there's another dice roll, and there's another chance for a pickoff and another chance for an overthrow. And I've overthrown the ball in the center field, and but again, that's one advanced setting that I incorporated into the basic game, and so I that's one that I kept. There's some that I don't use, but the idea that I have 15 or 20 advanced rules that I can bring into the game, and I just pick the ones that are more fun for me. I love that. I do. I really love that. And I think plays the same way with that, because I have the second season football game, and in the rules it says, start off with this, don't worry about the symbols. Just play this, and later on when you get comfortable with the game, then you can add the advanced symbols into the game. But playing with the symbols off, let's say, does not wreck your experience. And I haven't used the symbols yet. I'm still playing basic second season, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And maybe I do, maybe I don't bring in the advanced symbols, but that's a sign of a good to great game, is when you can add those things or not add them. There's some games that you have to use everything, and it's like, oh boy, I got to learn everything. But there's some games that you don't, Yeah. But the play games are very different. I hearken them to like a if you go to a restaurant and you get a picture menu. We're so used to ordering with numbers and descriptions, and all of a sudden you get pictures of everything, and it just throws you off, because I'm not used to this way.
It's different. It's a different
way of playing,
looking at a game, and it took me a long time. So giving games a chance is something I also learned. Because it took me a long time to pull the trigger on a play game. And I have 3 of them now, and I'm happy. But I really, like you said, I put the allotted time because I want to really learn the baseball game. Am I going to be perfect? No. I will make mistakes like I do in any game, but I'm enjoying it. So
I made a lot of mistakes when I first played the season ticket game, and I went back and asked some questions, and I got all the questions answered. That it was just getting used to it. You know what I mean? So So anyway, and so what did you say? So trying new games, giving games a chance. Yeah, that's another thing.
You have to, because, well, you don't have. I mean, I'm just saying. And again, I never thought I would play that type of game, but again, our wonderful community, as I like to call it, the FOC, friends of the community, friends of the channels. I see so many people play these games and the enjoyment. I saw when you played the golf game a while back, and then there's the racing game, and there's the baseball game, and the soccer game, the hockey game, and they're all fun games. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to try it. Took me a long time to pull the trigger on Phil Singer's wrestling game. Mm-hmm. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
That one was, for me, I have to be honest, quick learn. It was the same thing. It said, play the basic game for a little bit. In the book, it says, this is the basic game. Play this a few times. Bring some of the advance in, and you get it. And it just flows. It's wrestling. I know it's not a real, it's wrestling. It's something you have to, that game, because, okay, here's the thing about you're the subject matter, Uncle Dave. When you're saying give a game an allotted period of time, I have been guilty of this, where I look at the rule book, whether I bought it or printed it PDF, doesn't matter. I'm start going through it, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, after the second or third paragraph, you're just like, okay, I followed it right to here, and now I am lost.
Yeah, if I didn't get it like this, maybe within 3 snaps, or a general idea, I don't even understand the whole game, I would get frustrated. And again, I'd go back to, I just came home from work. Yeah. We just finished eating. I help clean the kitchen. I have this window at my home that I can play a game. And I want to learn this game, but you know what? 1, 2, 3, didn't get it. They're not clicking with me. Push it aside.
Yeah. I think we've all been guilty of that. And I've done that. I mean, although I really do like it when a game just clicks, because you're like, oh man, this is great. Sometimes you read the rule book and you're like, I get it. I mean, maybe not the whole thing, but I have a really good idea when I roll the dice what's going to be happening. I love that.
And hats off again to Phil Singer Games, because again, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, and they have wrestling games, it just, the artwork's wonderful with the cards, and then I got it right away. And I like wrestling, so it was fun. But and it even goes with a PC game, not necessarily how to play, but the strat, because some games you're like, why did this do this? And why? And I think here's one. You want to talk about patience for a PC game, right? Action PC Golf. My God. I sat there and we all kind of figured it out sort of together through many videos and watching and chats. And we're sitting there going, I realized, because I feel guilty, because I play Arnold Palmer almost all the time, and I played poorly. And I feel bad that poor Arnold up in heaven's looking down going, Al, please. I love you, Al, but pick somebody else. I would not miss that shot. But, you're learning the strategy in that game. Yes, the computer's doing stuff for you, but you have to say, okay, I want the ball here, and you have to figure the wind out and this and that. So you have to have patience and a lot. And you know what? Maybe after that time period, you still, it's not for me. But at least you gave it. Yeah, well,
there's times that games just aren't for you. And you got people that tell you this is the best game in the world. And, why aren't you liking it? And, sometimes it just doesn't click. Or maybe how the game plays is just not how I want to play it. Or I'm used to playing things like this. And this is how I get my enjoyment. It's like anything else. It's like the different movies. You might like a movie and you're like, it's not the one for me. So, so you don't have to like every game. That's the thing. You don't have to like every game, but it doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just means that it just didn't.
Does not mean that.
Just didn't speak to you. Yeah. So going along with me trying to give games the allotted amount of time and trying to have more patience. The other thing I learned in 2022 is don't be afraid to go back and give a game a second or even a third chance. Is because you might be missing out on a really, really good game. And I look at, Hockey Bones is the perfect example of that. Is I read the directions, tried to play it, just forget it. I watched videos on it. This is just way too much. And then when I actually said, I'm going to play this game, and I took it out and I laid the cards on the table and I read the directions and I actually sat down and played it, it was a heck of a lot simpler than I was making it out to be in my head. And I enjoy it now, and I have a bunch of seasons, and it's one of my favorite hockey games to play because I went back, gave it a second chance, and gave it the time, and it worked. And I'm like, Jeepers Creepers. It's like I could be missing out on a very, very fun hockey game because I just didn't give it the proper time.
Now, again, the proper time. But do you think because you're a hockey guy and you really wanted, because you love your hockey games, that you gave it that second look?
I think there's a few reasons that I give games a second look, or maybe give games more time or more leeway. One of the ones is I found out that they were printing. You could get cards printed at drive-through cards. Okay, right. And I have my shootout hockey facts to shootout drive-through cards, and they're awesome. And I says, okay, imagine if I could have hockey cards like that, like poker cards. That would be fantastic. Yeah. And so that's kind of what gave me a little bump to play that game, is because I was like, if I can make this work, I can get seasons in my wheelhouse. And I got very friendly with the guy that was making the seasons on Delphi, and we connected really well. And I streamed some of the games, and he gave me encouragement that I was playing it correctly. And so it just gave me the incentives to give me a little bit more of a cushion, a little bit more leeway, if you will, a little bit more of a buffer before I gave up. And so, so knowing that I could get really high quality cards of this game, I did give it the extra effort. There's a few things that do that too. Like when I see a game with a free demo, and I keep going back to season ticket, but regular season basketball was the same way. When I see a game with a free demo and a couple sample teams, and they're willing to say, hey, try my game for free, the whole thing, not just a sample, the whole game. Even PC games that do that, I tend to give them a lot of extra leeway too, because they've given me something to try for free. I didn't have to spend even $5 to try something out and then hate it. And so when I find that, I tend to try to support those people because, I'll give them an extra chance in the game. Usually I do like those games, and then I buy a bunch of seasons from them.
Yeah, I think when a demo is done correctly, like you said, give me at least two teams and let me play the game out, whether it's PC or card and dice. That company does themselves a great benefit because they're bringing people into the fold under their tent, so to say.
Yeah.
And listen, ASG games for the PC games, they all have demos. You can go see if you like the tennis game, the soccer game, and it's not like you can keep it. You don't get the full every season.
Right.
You can play and play and play and play. And I think that's very valuable because you learned you like the game. And if you do like the game, like Uncle Dave says, guess what? You go back and you buy the game, and then you buy files, or seasons, or fighters, or tennis players, or so on and so forth. When it comes to that, for the PDFs, same thing. You got to learn if you like the game, and I think it's a very valuable tool. So that does. For me, when I see that, I'm going to give that game here. Great example. You talked about second chances. I'm thinking it takes me a little while for the coffee to kick in, the caffeine, get Al Red Sox fans' head going here. PC Replay Baseball. I sat there. I love the aesthetics of it, right? It's beautiful to me. Card and dice, and I can play it whether I roll my dice or click on the thing, but the aesthetics, how you can download everything, the player photos, one click, and you can change up the way you want it. But I'm saying the aesthetics. But my God, that game, I kept watching it and watching. Go, I don't get it. I don't get it. So if you roll the thing and then the thing pops up and tells you, well, that's no fun to me. I want to know why. Yeah. And it was King Icky Boo along with ID Gesture. And again, I apologize. There's another video of content creator, and I can't remember which one. I watched those over before. I get it now. Because you know what they did? They finally broke it out where I could understand it, where they go, columns 1 and 2 are better for the pitcher. Mm-hmm. Column 3, 6, better for the hitter. Column 4, infield defense, 5, pitcher control. That's all I needed to know. And then I bought the game. And then they're very nice at that game. I said, hey, are there charts? And they go, oh, yeah, they come with the game.
I printed those out, and I followed along. I was like, okay, now I'm the same way. I want to follow along. I just don't want to hit a button and say, what? I want to follow along.
That was one of the things, second chances. I learned give games second chances. Even if I didn't buy it yet, I was like, and now I just enjoy that game. Anytime a sale comes, I like to pick up a few seasons to play Red Sox seasons over. It's a fun game. So yeah, second chances. That clicked in my head when you're talking about when you and the thing that got me for that one. You said like the cards for Hockey Bones, right? You could get these beautiful cards. The thing with PC Replay Baseball, it was the aesthetics. I know I've said it already, but it was, to me, it's beautiful.
Oh, it does. It looks great.
The version.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yep, it does. It has the backgrounds are nice, and the player pictures make it fun, and the cards come up so you see the cards in the game.
You can actually make the cards larger too.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did not know that. Someone left me a message, a comment, excuse me, on one of my videos ago. You got to make the cards bigger. I had no clue what they were talking about, so I went in to look because I just thought that's the size of the cards. You can make them bigger, and I did. I'm like, this is awesome.
Wow!
I don't squint. This is good.
Yeah. So one of the other things that just kind of speaking about, like I said, what gets you to buy a game, and I know we're a little off topic here, but I remember when I started playing APA hockey, I was playing Strat hockey first, and they didn't have a lot of seasons in stock, so I was buying a lot off of eBay, and I was spending a lot of money, and I was like, oh, well,
it can get pricey.
It gets pricey, but I was getting seasons that I wanted. Luckily, I had a couple people that sold me seasons I wanted to at reasonable prices. But when I stumbled onto APA hockey, and I found out they had every season that I wanted, I gave that an extra effort too. So what I learned in 2022, and this might be from 2021.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Is that if a game has a lot of seasons in my wheelhouse or in my my heyday, I'm willing to give that game an extra chance too. Because APA hockey, let's face it, is kind of a disaster on its face, and I've really turned that game around and made that my own game using some of my own rules, some of Mike Berger's, some of Zarb, some other stuff from the communities. But that game sings now. I can make that game sing, and one of the reasons I stuck with that is because I could get all the seasons that I wanted to play.
Community member, I never pronounce his name right. Thibault.
Thibault.
He's a big APA guy. Mm-hmm. Did he help you out? I believe he helped you out with the APA hockey.
Yeah, he got me. He answered a bunch of questions on APA hockey that got me over the hurdle, and then I kind of rode the wave from there. But if they didn't have the seasons, if they were very scattered,
you wouldn't have gotten.
Then I wouldn't. Then I would have hit that mountain and would have just climbed back down and said the heck of it.
And another thing, and again, you and Uncle Ron have said this. It's brilliant, and that's not an understatement. If you're going to buy a game, get a season you like.
Oh, yeah.
And play a team to learn the game.
Yeah.
A team you like, because that gets you invested.
Yeah. Unless it's a free demo, then you got to play the teams.
Different. A free demo is different.
Then you got to play with it. Yeah, but if you're taking the chance on a game, but getting back to the free demo thing, if there's a game that doesn't have a free demo, I think it's a good idea or at least some kind of way to sample the game, because you got this new game and it's it's like the best game ever or whatever it is, and you're looking at it, it's like, do I really want to drop $20, $30, or $40 on this, and then another 20 or 30 on a season, or even 15 on a season if I know nothing about this game?
At least give you.
That's the other thing.
A sort of walkthrough.
Yeah, something.
Even if it's just basic. At least give that. And some companies don't give a demo, but they give a pretty decent, hey, follow along. This is the way the game goes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're watching, yes, you can watch videos, and I did that with Play Games, History Maker Baseball. I watched a lot of videos. Al Wilson, Bob's Tabletop Sports, baseball demos, so on and so forth.
Steve Tower,
Same thing with the soccer game, Anthony Bleacher Bum's game. But what I'm saying is, but it's also nice that they actually, if you look, they have walkthroughs, and it's not like everything that can happen, but it gives you
get you going.
Gets you going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I I think it was very sound advice. I mean, yeah, I play a lot of Red Sox stuff, so I want the wheelhouse, or I want players that I like. Mm-hmm. I like Ted Williams' seasons. Like, I want his rookie season. I want his last season, and I want like 46, 48, 49, and 50, and I have them all. It's just, especially a card and dice, because, yes, a PC game, much easier to understand. I don't want to say learn, because the PC does it, but the strategy is the thing where you want to say, okay, how am I going to, what does this really mean when I do this? So you got to understand that a bit. But if you're going to get a game, get something that you can play, a seasoned player that you like.
Yeah, that gives the game a huge fighting chance to get into your library. Whereas if you just play teams you don't know, you don't care, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, if you're out there,
like Stratomatic, I can pick up 2 teams and go, I can just play it, and I'll enjoy it because I like Stratomatic. Mm-hmm. It's a good game, but I've played that since I was a child.
Yeah.
So, or young teenager.
Another thing that I learned about my gaming in 2022 is to step out of my comfort zone. And I take the Cleveland Spiders as the perfect example of that.
Yes.
Whereas I actually tried to play that in Action PC a long time ago. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I got frustrated, and I ended up just quitting the project because they were so bad. Everyone was stealing. I thought there was a glitch in the game because they were stealing on every single play. It just wasn't all that fun, so I stopped playing. But I picked it up in Strat. And for some reason, I really do like the Strat PC baseball game. I really do like that. I don't know why, but that's a fun game. And when I played the Spiders, and then we had JT Hetrick on. Was it Thomas J. Thomas Hetrick?
The author about
Yeah, I'm sorry, I screwed it up there. I was looking at the book up here, but we had the author on of the Spiders, and that just sent that project into orbit. It really did. That took off to such a point where I started to learn the players, learn about the times. So now when I'm playing these games, I'm visualizing the train pulling up that these guys got to get on to get to the next town, and it just. 1899 is basically fictional to me because I don't know what's going on back then. Right. So that is way away from my comfort zone of 70s and 80s, and that was so fun. 1899 was just an absolute blast, to a point where I picked up another season on Strat that I'm going to pick up after the Spiders are done. I'm not going to spoil it here. It's going to be a surprise when I unveil it, and it's going to be another obscure team that I'm going to play, and I don't know if it'll have the staying power of the Spiders because the Spiders are very unique, but I was out of my comfort zone and I had myself an absolute blast, to a point where I just picked up a couple more seasons of season ticket baseball, and you're going to be surprised to know that I picked up 1967,
the Red Sox,
which is way out of my comfort zone. That's the year I was.
Great year, though.
It's the year I was born. I know nothing about that.
You're going to enjoy that.
But I thought it'd be fun to pick up that season and at least play the World Series. If I do anything with that. So what I paid for that season on PDF, I think I'll get my money's worth out of that. So so one of the things I learned is jump out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you might have some fun with it. So who knows? I might have a blast with that.
60s, and again, this is a little off topic, but 67 is the one I play the most. And every game I've played 1967 for baseball. And I've done it different ways. And I finally got the Red Sox to win a World Series. I used sacrilege. I used a DH in both leagues. It was interesting to see the stats, though. That was fun. That was fun to see the stats. But yeah, out of your comfort zone. I'm not good at that. I stick with baseball, football, and boxing usually. Out of the comfort zone, some hockey, which I like. I'm not anywhere near a hockey guru. Basketball is a little out of the comfort zone. I'll play Wilt Chamberlain, stuff like that, because I love Wilt. But yeah, the thing that, though, what I'll say a little different than when you find something that you didn't know, like in a game, I tend to, like you did, you want to learn more about it, meaning like the time period. And the best example, again, I'll go back to the wrestling game. I don't know who this wrestler is, but I'm reading the little bio thing that comes with it. Wow, that's interesting. So I go look up.
Yeah.
Like this guy was like a true heart, like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was legit. Like they're feared this guy. Like he might actually hurt them in the ring. So you better go along with the program.
Yeah.
Or when promotions would have a certain guy, just in case you didn't want to go along with the program, guess what's going to happen to you? We got this guy who will, who can legit do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But the other thing is sometimes I'll be watching someone's YouTube video and they'll bring up, they'll be playing dead ball or something and an interesting story will come up. And I'll look it up because that is interesting. Like what I didn't know about the Spiders were like they basically I learned from you, they basically and the author, who again you just said his name and I forgot already, they were good at one time and the guy sold off or he bought a different team, right? Did he buy? And he basically shipped off all.
Yeah, the Spiders became a farm team for the St. Louis Perfectos, I think it was.
And so, that brought back memories of my dad and my uncle telling me about how the Yankees used to fleece the Kansas City Athletics. They got all, like they'd go and fleece all the stinky teams for all their best players. And horrible trades. You can look them up. Horrible trades the other way. You're sitting there going.
Well, that's what happened with the Montreal Canadiens. Is if they found a good player, they would just buy the junior team, and then no one else could take anybody from that team because the Canadians would buy him up. In fact,
very much like the Yankees because the Yankees used to stock when there was no draft. They just go out and stockpile all young players. Yeah, and they had them under contract.
Yep, and so that's why. Yeah, that's why the Yankees won a lot of games. That's why the Canadians won a lot of games. And now you see these teams not winning anything anymore because now it's all even. So it's just like to a point.
Well, hockey, yes.
So so playing out of your comfort zone because I know Uncle Ron played 1949 one time and. He said he had a blast with that. I didn't watch much of that because I didn't know.
A lot of walks in that time period.
Yeah, that's what he said. I
had a discussion with Uncle Ron because I played a game. I want to say it was out of the ballpark baseball, and then another one in Action PC. I was just playing games in that same season though. I went, holy cow! I looked up the stats. I knew they were back in the day. They didn't want to give in. Listen, I'd rather walk you, right? If you're not going to. And I'll face the next guy. I mean, I'll get the next guy out. Meaning they didn't want to groove a pitch, a lot of those guys. And that was definitely out of Uncle Ron's comfort zone. But I remember we were talking about it. We were like, there's a lot of walks in that season.
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I picked up a couple more seasons that were a little bit out of my comfort zone for season ticket. I picked up 1995 because I wanted to play Mo Vaughn and Jose Canseco on the Red Sox.
That was a fun year, okay?
And so
the Red Sox won the division. I don't mean to go Red Sox history. They won the division. Terry Kennedy was the manager. Was his first name Terry? Kennedy was the manager. I can't remember his first.
Kevin,
that's it. Kevin Kennedy. You're right. Because Terry Kennedy was a catcher, now that I'm thinking about it for somebody. But yeah, they won the division. They got beat in the playoffs. But that was a fun, unique team. You had Canseco. You had Mo Vaughn, John Valentin.
Greenwell
was on.
Maybe. I forget. Team? But there was a lot of guys. I think Clemens might have still been on the team, no?
We picked up Willie McGee on a trade, and he was horrible. I'll never forget going, how did the guy not remember how to hit? He put a Red Sox uniform on, and suddenly he got slow, couldn't field, and couldn't hit anymore. And I think he won the batting title in the National League because he qualified for, he came over from St. Louis, I believe, and he qualified for the batting title. He won the bat. He was horrible for the Red Sox, but you look at the team. They had some interest. Clemens was still on the 95 team, I think. Was that his last year?
I'm actually looking right now. I actually just called up the Red Sox team here off of what they sent me.
Jefferson was a DH. Oh, what was his first name? Was Jefferson on that team? No, could be. I can't. That was a fun team.
I got a Carlos Rodriguez, Chris James, Tuffy Rhodes, Juan Bell, Rich Rowland, Ron Mayhay, Dave Hollins, Scott Hadenberg, and Steve Rodriguez.
Scott Hadenberg, catcher. He was a catcher. He platooned with Gedman. I think. Oh, you know who else they had on that? I think they had. He went to the Yankees, or he came from the Yankees. Mike Stanley. He was a former A's too. Mike Stanley.
Trying to think. Well, because Vaughn, Naring, Luis.
Tim Naring played third.
Luis Alicia, Valentin Greenwell, Canseco, Troy O'Leary, Lee Tinsley, Bill Hasselman.
Tinsley, oh my God, he played center.
Bill Hasselman was a catcher, I guess.
Yep, Bill Hasselman we got from Seattle.
Mike McFarland, Willie McGee.
Willie McGee, we got him in a trade.
67 games. Reggie Jefferson. Holy cow.
Reggie Jefferson, that's it, DH.
ID was playing, was it Replay or Appa? I think it was Appa, and he had Reggie Jefferson on another team, and he hit like 2 home runs in the same game. We called him Reggie Jackson.
He was a solid DH for the Reds. Like, he was I liked him. He played. He had good years with the Red Sox. His at-bats went down in that year because of all the players they had. I'm trying to think if it was that. But that was a fun team. They won the division. I forgot who they lost to out west, but they lost in the playoffs.
Mark Whitten, Matt Stairs, Terry Shumpert, Chris Donalds.
Infielder. I think Shumpert was a utility guy.
Yeah, Donalds, Dwayne Hosey, and Wes Chamberlain.
Wes Chamberlain, outfielder. Corner outfielder.
Right fielder, yep. So that's who they had on the team.
That was a fun. I think that's a season that pops into my head every once in a while, and I've never replayed it, and I should.
Yeah, I usually go to 74 to 86.
A big smile to my just because that was that team, and then it was done. They got rid of those guys fast.
Yeah.
Kennedy was fired the next year. Or the year after.
I just thought it'd be fun because there's a little bit something out of my comfort zone. Then I picked up 2004 because they won it that year.
Yep.
And I thought I would just play, a couple of the playoffs there. I don't think I'd do much of that season. But
if you're looking for anything when Pedro first got there, he's phenomenal. Yeah. He was phenomenal anyway. But he was, again, that was must-see, to me, must-see TV. So I like Pedro seasons too. So, yeah, that's cool. I think you'll enjoy that one.
Yeah, so I picked up a few seasons out of my comfort zone in a game that I really, really enjoy playing.
I'll tell you out of my comfort zone now, because now, again, the brain's starting to kick in. It works. Stone Cold Hockey. I bought that, the tabletop version first.
Yeah.
That's definitely out of my comfort zone because I'm not and it's a very fun game, logical, and it feels, and hats off to you and Uncle Ron. You did a lot of nice work with them to make it feel more like a hockey game. But some games you can roll, whether you're rolling on your tabletop or playing on the PC, because I have both. Some games, I'm not lying, 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Other games.
The only thing that hung me up in that game there, and I told Gary right off the bat that's the only thing that confused me, and he fixed the directions because of that, was when you roll the dice and you determine if it's going to be a puck battle or control. Right?
Yep.
What I didn't understand is that you needed to roll again because I was like, well, that wouldn't make any sense because if the puck battle is 14-20 and the visitors are, say, 12-20, then the visitors only control on 12 and 13. I said, that's not very fair.
Yeah.
And then he said, no, if you determine that it's control, you roll the 20-sided dice again, and that way there you see the 1, 10, 11, 20 split.
Yes, because there's a split.
Yeah, so that was the only thing that tripped me up is it didn't quite specify that you needed to roll again. Because some games you roll once and that's it, and you leave the dice there. And
right. I can see where you get confused there.
But once he clarified that, the rest of the game was just...
Yeah, because you roll twice. You roll, is it going to be control for one team or a puck battle? Mm-hmm. If you have control, then you have a split with the 20-sided die. It's a fun game. It's fun.
It's so easy.
The PC game, you can. It flows. The tabletop flows. But again, out of my comfort zone, I bought the tabletop game because I watched the videos. But I said, you know what? I know the PC game's coming out, but I want to. I tell you what. When you learn a tabletop version and then you get the PC game and you're sitting there going, I know exactly what this is.
Yep.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
So that's out of my comfort zone right there.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes you find something out of your comfort zone, whether whether it's a game or a season.
That's a really highly fun game.
Yeah, that's such a fun game. Yep. And I think probably the one last thing that I can think of that what did I learn about my gaming in 2022 was don't be afraid to try something new. And even if it looks kind of terrible or confusing, don't be afraid to give it a try. 'Cause you just never know. Or if somebody recommends a game, don't be afraid to at least look into it. You know, even if it's something out of your comfort zone. So there's a few things that I looked at, and there was some that I tried. Man, it's like, okay, I get it, and it was okay, but I don't think it's going to replace anything. But at least I looked at it and gave it a try. And there's some other things that I looked at. It's like, oh, yeah, I think I enjoy this, and I think this is something I would play more of. So that's one thing and you with the play games, you tried something new, and, you know, boy, you're finding a lot of enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, it's slow. I'm not lying. It's slow going for me because I want to understand it. And by understand, I don't mean I can look at the book and I get the roles. But there's nooks, and I keep saying it because it's the best way I can explain it. Nooks and crannies. And if you really want to enjoy the game, for me, I want to know the nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's a different way to look at a game. Definitely, it's a game I've said it before, offline on my YouTube channel, and now I'll say it here, and I was telling Uncle Dave before he came on, that's a game, even though I enjoyed watching people play it, I go, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And they had the sale. The tennis jumped out at me. I got that. I was like, whoa, I kind of like this. And I pulled the trigger on it. If I can mention something that what I learned is I want to start, and again, doesn't mean I'm not going to buy stuff. Believe me, it doesn't mean that. I have an addiction. My name is Al. I buy games and seasons. I want to start playing some of the seasons I have for the games because and the way I'm going to do it, I just go back to what Dave and Ron have said and other people have said. I'm going to take Red Sox and I'm going to play it out on the PC. And if it's a card and dice game, I'm not a big, play the whole season card and dice. It's just not my thing. But I'm going to take the Red Sox and I'll just play them against the teams. Like when I was a kid, I play them against everybody, home and away, home and away, home and away. And just to enjoy it. Because it does, I might do another 1977 project just because I'm driving to work today, and there's a thing called Classic Radio Baseball. I don't have the YouTube channel correctly. I'm listening to 1977 Tigers and the Red Sox. I know all the names, and I'm sitting there going, I'm doing a 77 replay again in a different, not an action PC, but because I did that, and that was a ton of fun. But yeah, I want to, and just my opinion, go out and play one of your seasons you have and pick it whatever, that's your favorite team, and play a bit of it.
Yeah.
So that, because I know I'm guilty of stockpiling seasons that just because I think I know we've talked about it. We've all talked about this before, just saying, I like to know I have it.
Yeah. My anxiety goes down when I know I have it.
That is so true, because I sit there sometimes when I can't sleep at night, and I sit there and I go, I can do this project, because God knows I need more projects.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. We don't have enough.
We all need more projects, right? I can do this project, and I can do it in Strat, and I can do it in Action PC Baseball, and I can do it in Out of the Ballpark. And you know what? I don't have that in PC Replay. I got to pick it up. I can do it in every one of these genres or whatever game. And it's just fun. I don't know. It's funny because Teresa's like, honey, just get it. We pay our, it's not, we're not going to go hungry. Right. But it's just,
it's not like you're buying a new car. Yeah.
Uncle Dave.
It is, but it's one of these things. Again, it's just I work my tail off, and I'll be working another 10-day in a row stretch coming up pretty soon. Yeah. And at the end of that, it's like if I want to spend 20, 30, or 40 or $50 on some PDFs and get a season, or maybe I get a printed season from somebody, that's kind of my reward at the end of that. You know what I mean? Again, I don't take food off the table, and I don't skip bills to play this stuff.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean? And if it ever come to that, then obviously I just, I
don't get it.
I don't get it, and I've been there before when I was unemployed in 2020. It's like, well, I don't have any money for gaming here, so we're just going to play with what we got. And, for the most part, that's what we did. But anyway, so those are some of the few things that I learned about myself and gaming in 2022. So again, we'd like to know what you guys think. What did you out there in the audience learn about your gaming in 2022? Did you do anything different? Did you learn anything? Did you grow? Did you evolve as a gamer? Or did you kind of standing back and you like where you are and you're playing your things and you're happy there? So we kind of,
and that's perfectly fine too.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So that's what we'd like to know. So let's hit the music and finish this up. So you've been listening to the Digital to Dice podcast. This has been episode 164. And today we talked about what did we learn about our gaming in 2022 as we close out the last show of 2022 and we turn into 2023. Can you believe we're going to be starting our 4th year? Calendar-wise.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to listen to Digital Dice. I look forward to when the episodes pop. Also, I'm going to give you guys a plug because I'm a Patreon member. If you want, check out Patreon and become part of the Discord. And you can go look at the levels. And Uncle Dave can tell you more about that.
$2 a month helps support the show. $5 a month get you into the Discord and get you some of our Patreon exclusive stuff that Ron and I record from time to time. And sometimes I do some behind-the-scene things and some photos. And I just try to provide a lot of little goodies there. But lately, the Discord's been just a real fun place for us Patreons to hang out and talk and discuss things and support each other. There's sometimes we're in there supporting each other that are going through tough times. And so it's just a little bit more intimate than the Facebook group is what that is there. And that's $5 a month if you'd like to support the show and get the extra stuff like the Discord and a whole bit. But that's over on Patreon if you look for us on the Digital to Dice. And it's off our website too, which is digitaltodice.com. That's how you can find us. Digitaltodice.com is our website. You can buy some Digital to Dice merchandise and sign up on Patreon and just, see who the guests were on the show. We have a whole section on all the guests that we had on the show and a whole bunch of other things over there. 978-751-DICE. 978-751-DICE is the Dice line. digitaltodice@yahoo.com is email. Yahoo.com, I should say, and Facebook.com/groups/Digital to Dice. I like to jump over there. So anyway, Al, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
As a pinch hitter, and hopefully Ron will be back next week. He'll take care of all his assignments that he's doing. And I'm Dave, and we'll talk to you next time. You have to say bye-bye for Ron. He always says bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Peace.
That'll work.